Good afternoon, MagFed community and beyond. This is Ken from Reaper's MagFed. Today I want to have a serious talk about where things stand with the MCS box mag. So those of you who have been here from the beginning know where it started, and where it started is not where it is now. So I think I got mine in like 2019, and it was the generation 1 of this. And the generation 1 had no plates in the bottom or at the top of the feed, and it had a clear plastic set of paddles at the bottom, and I think that was pretty much the only real differences. Was this didn't have the plates, and it didn't have the any different kind of, had the clear paddles at the bottom. And candidly, I kept it in the back of my closet for a very long time. It's just sat here. I didn't get to play with it a lot because I never really had it feeding paint. And that kind of, on release, people tore this thing up. I mean, at least one guy, you got DEFCON Paintball, just ate it alive, and other experienced paintballers were comparing this, saying like, hey, why don't I just get something that I can put a hopper on my upside down magwell, and then I can shoot that. Well, if we're talking mag-fed paintball, it's got to be a box magazine with a mag tower. So this is it. How are we going to make this work? So it took a while, right? It's been about 5 years, but we are there. We are where we need to be. I can confidently say the performance that I get out of this, I love it. I'm happy with it. I gave it to my buddy Tyler. He was tearing me apart with it. And, like it was like 2 months ago, I gave this thing to him, and he, instead of me running from here to there and not getting shot at, I was running from here to there and getting shot at the whole time. So I wasn't getting to make free runs because this guy couldn't shoot at me. I gave him my EMF in this box magazine, and he was shooting at me consistently and not missing shots because they weren't coming out of the barrel or because they weren't coming out of the box magazine. So suffice to say, this thing is just plowing rounds out now. I went to a very small event yesterday for some light play, and I handed this to another box magazine owner before he left, and I said, please just go out there, shoot this. Let me know what you think now. Let me know what you think of this. And, his first question to me was, do you have the Hellfire mod in there? And I said, no. And he said, do you have, what kind of, you got a new trigger? And I said, no, I just got the trigger valve from Deadly Winds. That's it. And he says, all right, well, I think that thing would keep up with the Hellfire mod. And I said, I don't know. I haven't tried it with full automatic. He said, well, the Hellfire mod's only like 11 or 13 balls per second. And yes, I think he's right. So if I'm honest, I don't know if this is keeping up with maybe the full auto that comes in a T15. Those can spit out pretty fast. But I think he's right. I think with the Hellfire mod, I think we can do it. And I'm gonna have to get one of them, show you guys a video of how this works with the Hellfire mod and the paddles. But what he's done now is he put in what all of us wanted. KT over at MCS, he put it all together, and he got us the paddles. And it's a very inexpensive investment, $15. I put the pair in, I put the set in, and it's remarkable. It is a night and day difference in the performance of this machine. And now the first next in line is going to be that die damn box mag, but there's lots to consider now. Now the game has changed, the math has changed, the equation has changed, because we're not talking about a box mag that doesn't work anymore. That's not part of the conversation anymore. The conversation is now which box magazine is most cost effective. Okay? Because the only time this did not work for me yesterday is when there was a stick of mulch in there. There was a stick in it. And if you put a stick in a hopper, you put a stick in a die dam, you put a stick in a spire, I don't give a shit what you got. If you put a stick in there, it's not working. And anything gets a pass for that. And that's the only time this thing did not feed on me yesterday, is when there was a stick in it. So that's huge. So for the price of what, $150, $200, depending on how you get it, you could potentially buy 2 of these, because the Didam box mag, being the top Crown Prince, it's still very expensive, and it only fits like 1 or 2 things. This can fit all of my guns and all of my markers, and I've got pretty much all of the towers for it. I've got EMF, I've got T15, I've got the Helix mag, and I got the Tipex. I can put this on all of my markers, and that's a huge deal. So moving forward, if you've been reading reviews where, you know, all you've been hearing is that this thing doesn't work and you're not sure if you're ready to pull the trigger, I'm telling you that I've owned this since the very, very first one came out. I was one of the first buyers of this thing, and again, candidly, I was not a huge fan of the performance at first. I didn't make a video. I just sat on it. I waited because I knew that he was eventually going to fix these things, and they did. And when they finally made the things that ultimately improved the performance to where it needed to be, they were very inexpensive. I think it was $20 for the plates. It was $15 for the paddles. So from there to here, I mean, I didn't have to spend very much money at all, and I'm happy. I'm really happy that I didn't need to wait for him to make a new box mag, any of that. All I needed was just to wait a little bit, and sure enough, here we are. And this thing is worth the wait. We've got a couple on my team. We've already got the paddles getting ready to go in all of them. We've already all got a whole bunch of these around. So if all you needed to hear was that this thing, you know, works right, I'm here to tell you that day is here. So again, nobody pays me for anything on my channel. Nobody pays me for contributions. Nobody gives me a bunch of free shit. I have to say what I say unpaid, and pretty much at the expense of my own reputation or nothing else at all. So the time has come. The time has come, and this thing works right. It is not a conversation of, is this going to work right? How does this work? Now the conversation is, how many of these is Ken going to buy? So the answer to that is at least one more. And I'm excited. I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm going to find stuff to put on here. You know, you got little things where you can hang all kinds of attachments, you know, all kinds of things I really hadn't considered before because the thing just didn't work exactly the way I needed it to. You know, a lot of guys are putting speed feeds on top of theirs. Don't you worry. I'll be putting mine together real soon, but it works. They work.